what a spooky costume I have. Ooh. Hello, and welcome to the, I guess it's the season finale of What the Heck, episode 50 or something. Who knows? But we're here. It's a special Halloween episode. As you can see, we have the pumpkin that I bought at Ralph's. There's a nice candle lit up there, a spooky orange light, because I can change the colors in the lights. And I'm Batman. I'm Justice. Where's the trigger? It's more of a retro Batman costume, but that's okay. I bought this in college. It's not the most comfortable costume in the world, but it is the least comfortable, hottest costume in the entire world. It's all spandex. This thing does not breathe very well. It does accentuate my breathtaking, vast shoulders, which is a good thing. But I'm doing this for you because it's a special spooky Halloween episode. And I'm Batman because I'm going with my girlfriend. She's going to be Batgirl or something like that. I don't know. That's what we're doing. And I'm recycling my old costume from high school. I was home with my family. As you know, you saw the episode last week because I'm a good host and I gave you a special bonus episode while I was traveling. And I went through all the effort for you guys to keep the special bonus episode. And I went through some of my old things, some of my old high school things, some old college things, some fun memories. And I knew that this was there somewhere. And I knew that she wanted to do Batman stuff. And I thought I would find one. I thought I still had this. And lo and behold, I did. And I look really good in it. You can't even tell it's me. Now, did Batman have a mustache? No, but he should, because mustaches are badass. And we should change that, frankly. We're changing all these other superheroes. We should adapt with the times. Give Batman a mustache. Hashtag give Batman a mustache. Let's start that hashtag. Hashtag give Batman a mustache. I think that'd be a good idea, right? No one would definitely... no one could tell who he is. Just imagine he's beating someone up, just like a poof, 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 poof. He just sees the mustache on the face. It's very telling feature. You know, like if Superman had a mustache, it's much less believable that he's just Clark Kent. You know, you're like, hey, Clark, I know you think we can't tell that you're Superman because you wear glasses, but you also have a mustache and stubble, and it's the same style. Because mustaches, you have specific styles. It's very specific to your face. Hair grows in certain areas. It's thicker in some parts than in others. Some people can grow big bushy ones. I could grow a big bushy one, but I don't look good with a big bushy one. So I just like the thinner line of mustache. So that's what I'm doing. And if Clark Kent had that, guess what, Clark? Everyone knows who you are. And that's a shitty disguise by only wearing glasses. Do something else. Hey, wear a mask, dude. Wear a mask. Special episode today. A lot of ums and ahs coming out of my mouth, per usual. See, we're doing it. There it is again. Long episode. I'm just going to be loosey-goosey. And if I need to restart the card thing and keep going, we're going to keep going because that's what you guys deserve. And we have a lot of stuff on the agenda for today. We have a lot of stuff we want to talk about. First off, traveling. You guys already saw there's really not much to keep you caught up on other than traveling sucks. As you know, I hate being on airplanes. Don't take your babies on airplanes. I sat behind two babies on an airplane. Don't take your babies on airplanes. They cry the whole time, even if they're really cute. Don't take your babies on airplanes. Don't take your shoes and socks off on airplanes. Don't line up before your group is called when you're boarding an airplane. Okay, get better at deboarding a plane. Get better at deboarding a plane because people don't know how to do that. For some reason, everyone has this problem with they get on the plane and they have their carry-on thing and it takes so long for them to just grab it and place it in the overhead thing. It takes 4 seconds. I will never understand why people take so long to take their bag and shove it in the thing and sit in their seat. And they don't understand how the seats work. It happens inevitably every single time. No one knows how the ticketing naming convention works on an airplane. They come in and they're like, oh, is this E? Is this the aisle seat E? Oh, hey, Linda, I don't know. Why don't you look above the seat where it has a key for you, where it explains which one's next to the window and which one's next to the aisle. And then shove your bag in there, sit down, shut up, and we'll get through this flight together. And then getting off the airplane. This happens every time. We're waiting there. Everyone jolts up when the plane lands. And they don't know how to take their bags out because for some reason they don't put them right next to each other. And I understand on some flights, it's harder to put your bags in an area that's close to your seat. But for the most part, it's pretty easy. So don't be an asshole. There's always these assholes who get up and they'll put their bag towards the front of the plane so they can just grab it on their way out. Hey, don't do that. That's against the rules. Not allowed to do that. Put it next to your seat, bozo. And then when it's time to get up and you go like this, shh, and you walk away. That's how long it takes. And I'll give you a 10-second grace period. Hell, if I'm feeling generous, I'll even give you 30 seconds. But to take any longer than that is unacceptable. And that's what we dealt with. And it happens every time, even when the flight is not full. If the flights weren't even that full, the middle seats are empty, and I love that, and I wish that would stay forever and ever and ever. But that's probably not going to happen. I had a layover in Salt Lake City. Interesting airport. Utah's a beautiful state, but the people stink. Got back here yesterday. It's spooky season. I'll tell you what, I left and it was 93 degrees when I left. Sunny as can be, and I come back and there's clouds all over the place. Ooh, spooky clouds. Because it's spooky season, and it got chilly, and the leaves are falling off the trees now, and that's what I'm talking about. I love Halloween time. It's one of my favorite times. And a lot of people will disagree with me here. A lot of people think Halloween is lame or whatever. But I don't. I like Halloween. I think Halloween's fun. It's spooky. It only lasts for like a month. You know, I think it's in some ways better than Christmas time for the spookiness. You get the pumpkins out and the leaves are changing. It's not as good in LA. I will say that was the nicest part about traveling is Halloween in the Midwest is much more organic feeling. It feels a lot more normal and better. Reminds me of being a little tyke, trick-or-treating around the neighborhood. The leaves changing and jumping in the leaves and then burning the leaves with my dad and dressing up as a ghost or as Zorro or as a knight in shining armor or as Superman who has to wear a coat because it's cold out that night and your mom makes you wear a coat. That's why I like the Midwest. It's very spooky. When you landed, there's colors on the trees and stuff. And in LA, it's really not the same thing, so it's harder to get in the spooky spirit. But it is still a fun time, and I like it. And I that was one of the best things about being home is seeing all the decorations up and whatnot. Reminds you of being a kid. I haven't been back home during this season in years and years, and I love decorations. I like that shit. Do you guys like that? If you don't, then I don't know if we can be friends because I love the spooky stuff. Granted, I'm not really that much in the holiday spirit. I guess kind of my apartment isn't really decorated other than this and other than me inside of the apartment being a decorated accoutrement to the apartment. But I love it. Although some people take it a little far. We used to have these neighbors down the street from us in my old house, which I drove past when I was home for sentimental purposes because I'm a sentimental person. Very nostalgic. And there was this family that lived on the end of the street. When we were kids, we called them the Fats because obviously you can make the assumption as to why. And they would always go all out for every holiday. Their whole yard would be decorated. I'm sure everyone knows someone like this, where you decorate the shit out of your yard. And there's tons of lights and tons of blow up shit. And there's reindeer for Christmas. And there's spooky Frankenstein monsters and ghouls and goblins and pumpkins and shit in the yard. And I like that. But some people take it a little far. Like I saw someone's decorations. Like I like the spooky stuff, but when we get to gruesome shit, like you've lost me. Like I don't like violent, gory stuff. I like the spooky, ghosty type of shit, Ooh. And like I saw someone's decoration was like a human corpse on a spit roast, like rotisserie thing. Like, hey, that's a little macabre for children. It was literally a cadaver with a fucking thing through it, spinning around over like a makeshift Kohl's thing. Hey, guy, calm down. Calm down. I like Halloween as much as the next guy, but doing that's a little much. You'll see severed heads and shit, like realistic looking severed heads. I like the kitschy Halloween shit, Just give me the kitschy Ghostbusters Halloween shit. We don't need the gory, stabby, bloody corpse and cadaver severed head bullshit. God, I'm getting so many texts. I'm popular. Just take it down a notch. I'll see if I can find pictures. I want to put them up on the screen. But like people's they get a little out of control, and like take it easy with all that. I think I've said this before, but even with Christmas, I'm the same way. I like to get in the Christmas spirit, but don't be a dork about it. Don't take it too far. Don't take it too far. Like a spit roasted cadaver, dude. What is wrong with you? Some people will dress up and try to scare kids in their yard during Halloween. I like that. That's cool. Corn mazes are fun. I love corn mazes. You know, the dead corn. And if you're not from the Midwest, you're not going to understand this, but I think probably half of my listeners are from the Midwest. that's a wild guess. And in fact, I have no data to back that up. I haven't even looked. So that might not even be true. But I'm just saying, if you're not from the Midwest, Halloween doesn't make as much sense. It doesn't have the same oomph behind it. Because it's spooky time. But that's what it is. I love Halloween. I was going to open up with some Halloween music, but I can't because we're on YouTube now. And Instagram would probably take it down as well. So we can't do that. As we scale and get bigger, we're not going to be able to do these things. Frankly. And so, yeah, on the YouTube, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, Victory Lap Media on YouTube. That's where we're hosting it. I love those guys. They've been on the show. If you haven't watched them, go back and look at the other episodes. Check them out. But that's where I'm on their YouTube channel. So if you want to watch them on YouTube, some people say they like listening more than watching. Some people like watching. They just like having it. If you want to, YouTube's maybe a little easier for you than Instagram. So go do that. So now you have all these options. There's no excuses to not watching the show. Okay. Kanye West was on Joe Rogan finally. And that's interesting. And that's something we have to talk about because this has been in the works for probably at least a year now, right? And Kanye is kind of a maniac, and I like Kanye, and I think he's one of the he's one of the biggest geniuses in music, whether you like it or not. I don't know. I don't care what you think about his political leanings or his ranting and raving or telling Taylor Swift she sucks ass and Beyonce deserves the golden prize or whatever the hell he was ranting about. Take that all out the window. He's an amazing music producer, and he's a great artist, and you have to give him credit for that. Okay. Now, I thought we'd get a little bit more into that stuff on the Rogan podcast. Obviously, he was trying to go on to promote himself to be a presidential candidate, and that's fine. But they spent pretty much the entire episode talking about goddamn nothing. And some people think it was a genius thing, and it definitely helps you understand Kanye a little bit better. And this is the most uncomfortable costume in the world, and I'm going to die. Oh my God, that's so uncomfortable. My face. But I thought there'd be a little bit more different topics that were well thought out in the interview. And Joe Rogan didn't really do a great job of reining Kanye in. He just didn't. He just sat there and let him talk pretty much the entire time. And that's, it's kind of to be expected. But at the same time, Joe, it just felt like he was being reserved because he didn't want to offend Kanye or something. Let me see if I can pull up a quick clip while I'm pulling that up though. But it's like, I don't know. I was expecting a lot more and I kind of got bored with it. Like he definitely has some interesting thoughts. But it wasn't anything like Barry or breaking down or any like substantial things we really learned. I felt like they were just kind of talking in circles, and Kanye said some interesting things. He also said some insane things. So I don't know. It felt like more of just a Kanye rant than it was anything else. And Joe just kind of sat there and, it started off weird. And I was like, this will probably not be so weird. And nope, it was weird the whole time. So here's a little clip.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So what are you doing? You running for president?
Yes.
So he starts off really,
aren't you busy enough?
Reserved at the beginning.
Company,
and then he just kind of ramps up.
Rapper.
And it gets
family man
more and more and more crazy as the interview
something
goes
that
on.
God put on my heart back in me to
be governor of California.
I think I'm different from. We're all different, so I'm definitely different.
And he starts off slow like that, so that's probably not the best clip to show. But he goes on later to. I can't even scroll on my computer with these gloves, dude. This is so annoying. And this is how the show's going to get derailed. So you're going to have to just bear with me, my friends. Just bear with me as I find this. And I'm just stalling now. Here, this is the best clip of the whole fucking thing.
Right here. The first time you can see me get mad. And the thing I want to say, and this is about to make me mad right here. The first time you can see me get mad in the interview. they said that George Lucas's prequels are worse than the corporate made Disney Star Wars.
I'll get mad at that too.
Yeah,
Like-
I agree.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Revenge of the Sith. We saw how Darth Vader was made.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
Preach.
I watched that like 10 times during COVID. Like, don't jump, Anakin.
No.
I got the high ground.
Those early movies were pure.
Yeah.
They were pure.
No. I'm saying even the prequels are better than anything that. And I'm sorry, Disney Star Wars design team. I know you're gonna like put my face up in the office and be like, forget. No, man, this is George. This is his baby.
Agreed.
That thing was set in his heart to show us as children the hero's journey.
That's the only thing I cared about in the entire interview. As you may know, I like Star Wars. I'm not dressed as a Star Wars guy, but hey, I like Star Wars. All right. And God, I gotta adjust this mask. It's so uncomfortable. I like Star Wars. And that's the most important thing he said. And so I agree with you, Kanye. I totally agree, dude. Prequels are underrated. And if you don't like the prequels, get out of my face. And that's the kind of ranting we did. That's pretty much one of the only, I saw that clip before I saw the rest of the interview. So I was like, oh, this will be interesting. Nope. That's pretty much one of the only normal things he said. So I'm a little disappointed in you, Joe, for not reining him in more. I'm a little disappointed in Kanye I'm not really. I think he's a little, I don't know. I think he has some bigger issues, but all in all, I don't know if it's really worth the watch other than looking at some clips and skipping around it a little bit. I mean, we're all disappointed, I think. And some people are tweeting like, oh my God, I totally understand Kanye now. He's such a genius. No, you don't. Shut up, loser. You don't understand. Also, something that no one cares about is the debate. We're not talking about this very long and I know the show is called Nothing But Politics with Matt Thomas. Bam, 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 bam. It's a short episode today on Nothing But Politics. But the second and final presidential debate was last night on Thursday night. The two presidential candidates battled it out to see who could be older and insult the other person more. And it was way more reserved than last time. That's why I wanted to bring it up. It was definitely more civilized. It was a decent debate to watch. To me, it felt like, well, Trump was way more level-headed. Biden started out okay, and then just his Adderall stuff. And there's the noise again that I always get at this time. I'll close that. And then Biden like started off good, and then his Adderall just started wearing off, and it was just like boo, 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 and you could like tell he was just losing steam. But all in all, I thought it was more interesting to watch. Those things are long, and there's no commercial breaks, so you gotta buckle in. But it was better. I mean, who cares? It's not switching anyone's decisions. We've talked about this before. No one gives a fuck about what those people are saying in the debates. No normal person. I mean, if there's any swing voters who are looking at, like, how are you a swing voter still? They've both been in office at this point now for a decent amount of time. And Trump's been in the media before that. So there's no excuse to not know who these dudes are. So, I mean, legitimately, there's probably 18 people who are undecided voters in the entire country. It's a very passionate election we have, a very contentious election we have going on. And I think a lot of people have already voted. I think we're already seeing people go out in record numbers. And that's cool and all. But like these debates, like, I don't know. I think it's just for both sides to look at and just find the best clips that work well for their party and say, hey, my guy said this. Ha! And your guy said that. Okay. I mean, I don't think there's any Joe Plumbers out there who are just like, oh, well, after seeing the first debate, I was still undecided. But now, a week before the election, I've decided. No, that's not how it works. I guess you got to do it for tradition or whatever, but I don't think this is changing anyone's minds. We're not breaking down any barriers. I didn't think there was really that many highlights. It didn't get as crazy as last time. But, we live in a very political world today, and people, I guess, want to see that stuff. And I watched it, want to bring news to you guys, and I'm interested, I had nothing else to watch. So I watched it. All right? And that's what we call it, the debate. And that's how Trump was the whole time. He wasn't like this Trump. He wasn't screaming and yelling, you're a real big loser. He was more like, Joe, what are you saying, Joe? Look, you did this for 47 years. Excuse me, and that's the deal. And then Joe Biden's just like, 317 million people. You're sitting at the dinner table. There's an empty seat. And he's staring at the camera. And that's all. I mean, I just summed up the whole debate for you. And that's it. And that's the end of the segment. Nothing but politics with Matt Thomas. But you can't get away from politics today. There's no escaping it. It's everywhere. It's what you see on the news every day. It's out on the streets. There's people screaming and yelling about it on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And you just can't escape it. Even in media today. You know, even in football and even in basketball and baseball, you're going to see something somewhere, you know, so-and-so athlete said this or that. And in movies and stuff. And you're just like, can we just live our lives without politics? Like, can we just do one thing? Can we just have one world where we don't have it? It just feels inconsequential to me. Like, that's a stupid thing to say. It doesn't feel inconsequential. It just feels like no one's lives are going to change as much as the media is telling you your life is going to change if one person gets elected or the other. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like just because one person gets elected, your life is going to change that dramatically. Obviously, it's going to change a little bit. But if you go outside on a daily basis and start living your life, I mean, it's like, think logically. It's really not going to be that different on a daily basis. It's going to slowly change over time. But everyone's so fucking dramatic about everything now. So fucking dramatic. Can we calm down? Trump isn't going to execute you. Joe Biden isn't going to blow up the country with a nuke, okay? Just calm down. But everyone likes to lie, and we can't get away from it. It's in everything. I mean, even I watched that Borat movie last night. Funny movie, I guess. Kind of funny. Not as good as the first one, but I don't know how you do Borat anymore. I mean, with Sacha Baron Cohen being as big as he is, you know? So it was interesting, but I mean, the whole thing's about politics. It's all political. Just trying to do he goes to a Mike Pence thing and tries to get Rudy Giuliani, which was also blown out of proportion. Like, everyone was making a bunch of noise on the Rudy Giuliani thing on Twitter, like a week ago or something. And then the movie comes out and I watched it and I was expecting there to be this big bombshell of Rudy Giuliani being a creepazoid, but it was really, I don't know. I didn't think it was any big deal. What do you think? To me, it just looked like a creepy interview. I mean, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go watch it. Then we can then pause the episode here and go watch it and then come back. But it didn't feel that crazy. I mean, it didn't feel that there was no really good skits in there, in my opinion. It was kind of funny. I chuckled sometimes, but it just wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't as good as the first one. And that's all I'll say. And it was a little too much politics in there for my liking. If you want real, funny, messing with people type of humor, I recommend checking out Nathan For You. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. And it came out a while ago. I've been a fan for a while. I'm actually surprised I haven't mentioned it on the show before. I might have. But Nathan For You is very funny. He tries to rescue failing businesses, and he has stupid ideas on how to do it, and he just fucks with people. And it's really funny, and a lot of you already know what I'm talking about. So if that's the case, then ignore this, or just go watch the show again. But it's really good. It's funny. In my opinion, way funnier than what that new Borat movie was. And that's just my opinion, and I'm allowed to have that. But yeah, people are too dramatic about this shit. And, just in general, calm down. Like some of the leaps and bounds people will go to make a political point is just insane. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I saw this thing from Slate. It was and some of these things, we live in the world of The Onion, those fake news headlines and fake articles. People are just making shit up. I don't know what to believe anymore. You can't. I mean, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the media anymore. I have a whole episode on this. I'll probably do another episode later, but I don't watch it anymore. It's too toxic. It's too negative. It's all bullshit. Everyone's lying to you. And it's just a homework assignment. Every time someone says something, I have to go look it up for myself and see if it's actually true, because people just throw sensational headlines out there and expect you to believe everything they say. And my life is better without reading all that shit all the time. It's stressful paying attention to every fucking thing everyone says. And I'm trying to get better at it. I'm on Twitter too much. But this tweet from Slate, the headline is, want to see less racism and sexism in classical music? Stop calling Beethoven by his last name. What? First of all, what? What does that mean? Not everything has to be fucking political. Why are we trying to cancel someone from 150 years ago? What are you talking about? How is that racist and sexist to call Beethoven by his last name? We're not calling him that because we're racist or sexist. We're calling him that because that's his name. That's his name. It's like saying, hey, stop calling Pharrell Pharrell. Stop calling Cher Cher. No. Stop calling Bon Jovi Bon Jovi. It's racist and sexist. Call him John Bon Jovi. I don't even want to read this article because I don't need like that's it's a waste of time. Why did you write that article? Why did you write that article? Hey, pick something less relevant to talk about. First of all, classical music is dope. And I saw people replying to this being like, classical music sucks. It's the worst. Shut up. You're wrong. It's amazing. You don't know the context about that. And I do because I'm a musical genius, obviously. But second of all, like, you're just creating conflict where there doesn't need to be anything. Like, it's happened. This guy existed so long ago. We're comparing something that, like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of this article, but if you think it's being racist and sexist, I'm sure there's going to be bullshit in there about how it's racist and sexist and it has to do with classism or something. But like, you're comparing standards of today to back then. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You sound like a fucking idiot. And Matt, why are you paying attention to that? I don't know, because maybe I'm a fucking idiot. Maybe I'm a fucking idiot. I probably am. I need to get off and just, live my life. Get off Twitter and stop reading articles from Slate. Boy, we're going up. This is going to be a long boy today. We only have 2 minutes, 50 seconds left on the card. So, special episode, season finale. Did this go out? Oh, no. It's on. You just can't see it. It's not as bright. It's kind of lame. Oh, the candle. If you're not watching, watch it, because then you know what I'm talking about. My candle kind of went out. And then another thing on Twitter that I saw was someone said something. It was like concerns are raised. Well, let me see if I can find it. If I can scroll down on my thingy. Oh my God, this is torture to listen to. But if you don't remember, Bill Cosby is a rapist, right? Yeah, he's a rapist, and I don't think that's even like, I don't think you're even able to dispute that at this point. Piece of shit, America's dad. Isn't that what they call them? America's dad. So he is in jail, rightfully so, because he's an asshole. Drugs and rapes women. No one really cares about him anymore. He's been, in jail for a while. And TMZ tweets, new Bill Cosby prison pic surfaces after unkept mugshot sparks worry. Sparks worry from who? Who is worried about him right now? Name one person. Name one person that was worried about Bill Cosby after seeing a recent picture from him. It was not me. I will promise you that. It was not me. Were you worried? If so, write into the show and tell me, hey, Matt, fuck you. I love Bill Cosby. He may have raped a couple chicks, but he's a funny guy. And I'll say this. Oops, I don't care. Because you're wrong, because he's an asshole. And I don't care how he's doing in prison. I don't care. I forgot he even existed. He's a bad guy. We send bad guys to prison, frankly. And TMZ is just making stuff up now. People just talk in generalizations now. Unkept mugshot sparks worry. Really? From who? You're implying there's name-specific people. People will do this in news articles too. Well, sources say, what sources? Name your sources. All right, we got 24 seconds left. Let's restart this and we'll keep going. And we're back. And we're back. I wish my thing could record longer than 30 minutes, but hey, it doesn't. Maybe I should have thought about that when I bought my camera, but I didn't. I didn't think about that when I bought my camera. Maybe I should have done more research. All right. So moving on. We're going to go through, since it's a special spooky Halloween episode. You guys are all probably wondering, what are my favorite Halloween movies? And if you're not, I'm going to give you some suggestions anyways, because I like Halloween and I like Halloween music the most, but we can't play music on the show, unfortunately, or we'll get taken off or demonetized from YouTube or something. Although who really cares, honestly, if we're demonetized? But I don't want to get removed from Instagram. Doesn't matter. Shut up. I'm going to make my own decisions. Okay. Let's go through some good movies, to watch during this time. We'll go through scary, we'll go through creepy, and then we'll go through some like goofy ones, I think, which are good, and maybe some older ones. Like I said, I don't like slasher movies. I'm not big on the, bloody, gory Texas Chainsaw Massacre bullshit. I'll watch some, like Halloween. I'd watch that. I'd watch like the, it's not Scream. What's the other one? Well, not Scream's the one they make fun of it, right? What's the one I'm thinking of? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But, although those movies are good, but like Saw, I can barely get through. Like those are gross and fucked up. And like other creepy movies where there's violence and stabbing and stuff, I'm just not a fan, to be quite honest. But I do like, creepy themes, like really scary themes. So for example, stop stalling, Matt. Hey, Matt, stop stalling. Insidious. Insidious is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen this yet, pack your bags and move from the rock you're living under, because it's very scary. Very creepy. It's not like it's a decent amount of jump scares. The premise is very creative. It's about a kid who goes to sleep and he can go to the further, is what they call it. It's like another realm in his dreams, and he can travel out to the nether realm, and he gets stuck out there, and he can't wake up. He's in a coma. So he has like this weird magic power, and they hire a medium, and she tells him, you have to go out and get your son. So the dad goes out and gets the son, and he's being held by this evil spirit or whatever. Very creepy, very well done. Amazing movie by Blumhouse. Check it out. Number 2, these are all in the Blumhouse vein, if you will. Sinister. Another creepy one about some movies in a house. I don't exactly remember the plot of it, but also about evil spirits and whatnot. Super scary. Same guy from Insidious is in this movie. And then The Conjuring. Conjuring 1 and 2. Probably the scariest movies I've ever seen. Based on a true story, although who knows what the hell that even means. About these spirits who haunt these people in a house. It's a haunted house movie. Okay, it's really good. They're really good. Really scary. Same with the next one, which isn't a movie, but it's a TV show. Haunting of Hill House came out last year on Netflix. Acting is subpar, I will say, but the story is really good. It's creepy. It is about a haunted house these kids grow up in, and it jumps back and forth on timelines. Really well done, put together. Actors, not a huge fan of, but that's okay. We get through it. It's a good movie. This next one, Blair Witch Project. And some of you are going to go, but Matt, I don't like that movie. It's stupid. And you can fuck yourself. Oops, shouldn't have cursed. I got to stop cursing. I really do. And so, Grandma, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Blair Witch is good. If you haven't seen it, I mean, come on, guys. This is a classic scary movie. It's the first one of like a first person shooting it from their homemade video camera thing. It's about a witch in the woods that they're researching for a documentary, and then things go horribly wrong. And you can probably guess what happens if you haven't seen it. And they get lost in the woods. Very well done movie. In fact, maybe I'll watch it tonight as a prank. Child's Play. Now, this is kind of a gory one, but the only reason I'm bringing this one up is because it scarred me as a child. Chucky freaked me out when I saw him as a child. This is a movie from the 80s, and 80s movies have this thing to them. They're almost scarier, like Gremlins. It's just like that shitty, like 80s puppetry type of thing, and like the grainy footage, and it's the 80s aesthetic. It's just scarier to me for some reason. So Child's Play is definitely up there. It's like almost like a labyrinth type of vibe to it. Not really, but you know what I mean? Like Chucky's like a weird, like a doll or whatever who comes to life and murders people. Very creepy movie. Cabin in the Woods. This is I guess you'd call a satire of horror movies, but it's very well done. Very good. Great ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Great ratings, frankly. One of the best movies. I like this movie. It's probably one of the greatest movies. And I've watched it many times. I'm an expert on this movie. Nobody's watched this movie more than me. Actually, I've only seen it once, but it's very good. Title really explains it for itself. I don't want to give anything away. There's kind of some twists and turns in it. So just picture it like this. It's a slasher film that has to do with a cabin in the woods. Pretty violent, but not like in a bad way. Don't worry. Another one, it's not one of my favorites, but I wanted to bring it up. It deserves an honorable mention because I just watched it. It's the new Adam Sandler one, whatever the fuck that's called. I probably should have looked up the name. I just typed in Adam Sandler movie. Adam Sand. It's on Netflix. Halloween. Hubie Halloween. Not the best movie. I mean, I like Adam Sandler, but it's one of the better ones he's made recently. And part of that's just because they get the aesthetic of Halloween like perfect in this movie, I think. Small town, leaves, decorations, creepy music, riding around on bikes, spooky vibes. And I like it, okay? I like it. And I'm admitting that to you now. And you're going to go watch it and you'll enjoy it. It's an easy watch. And it's typical Adam Sandler shenanigans. And it's like a whodunit type of movie. Brothers Grimm. This one has Matt Damon and Heath Ledger. Very creepy movie, very underrated. It's based on, obviously, the classic Brothers Grimm, who write tales. They write tales. And they slay monsters is the whole theme of the movie. And then about not halfway, it's not really a spoiler, but they tell you they're like faking all the monsters, killing all the monsters to make money from the villagers. So they're conjuring up these fake monsters and then killing them themselves. And then they come across a real evil monster and they have to defeat that. So great movie. Another one from this type of era, early 2000s, late 90s, Sleepy Hollow, Johnny Depp. Any of the Sleepy Hollows will do. I'm not saying this one specifically is the best, but I do like it. The classic Ichabod Crane story is one of my favorites from being a kid. Very spooky shit. Big fan of that. Nosferatu. Now, this is one of the first scary movies of all time. It's from the 1910s or 20s, something like that. Silent film. But boy, oh boy, is it creepy and well done and artistic. I mean, Nosferatu is a scary-looking motherfucker. And they did a very good job making this movie about as scary as you can make it for a 20s movie. Very artistic. Nosferatu looks like what I do when I wake up on a winter's evening in the Midwest. Very pale, very bald, very gross, but very lovable. Okay, this one's not really a movie. I guess it's a short, and I just saw it about 2 weeks ago, and it's really fucking creepy. It's just weird. It's a 5-minute movie on Hulu, but I wanted to bring it up because I watched it and I was like, what the fuck when I watched it? It's called The Hug, and it's about this like Chuck E. Cheese animatronic who like eats little kids. So check that out. And you can see from the picture here, it's the creepiest looking guy you've ever seen in your life. Another one, not really that Halloween-y, but kind of, The Village, M. Night Shyamalan movie. Now, I have a sweet place in my heart for this movie because the first 3/4 of it are so good. It's so creepy, so well done, such a good premise, and then he just kind of wrecks it in the end. The surprise ending is that he ruined it. But everything leading up to it, the lore behind it, the music, the creativity of what's going on in this village. There's monsters that live in the woods, and these villagers are surrounded by the woods, and they have this special relationship with these creatures who live in the woods. Very creepy, really creepy. Everything's really creepy, apparently, what I'm saying tonight. But frankly, I like it, and it's a good movie. That's what we call it. Good movie. Last TV show, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone is a classic. Okay, people. It's a good movie. It's a good, not movie, but it's more of a TV show. And it's worth watching. Any episodes will do. I don't really know episode names, but there's ones where I don't want to give any of them away. But I mean, you know what Twilight Zone is. Why do I have to explain this to you? Jesus Christ. Why don't you look this up on your own? How about that, you fucking pussy? And Matt, you got to stop cursing, dude. You got to stop cursing. Cheap laugh. And I don't. You probably didn't even laugh there. And I got to stop saying So that's it. I think that's a good list, and I'll give you guys some stuff to chew on for the next 4 days before Halloween. There's another I want to close out this season by doing some Am I the Assholes? And then we'll get out of here, okay? And we'll get out of here for an undisclosed amount of time. I don't know how long I'm going to have to be gone for. but I just know I have to redo some things. Okay, I gotta redo some things, frankly. And having these gloves on, I can't tell you how uncomfortable I am right now. It is unbelievably uncomfortable. Okay. I found a couple. Jeez Louise, Papa Cheese. Dead air. This is dead air. I hate this. I hate this, guys. If you're watching the video, you probably see how frustrated I am. All right. Finally. All right. Am I the asshole? You guys seem to like that one, so we'll do that. Am I the asshole for refusing I was going to try to do Halloween themed Am I the Assholes, but you can't really find them. There's really no good ones, so I'm sorry if that doesn't really go along with the theme of the show, but get over it. I mean, I'm dressed up as Batman, for God's sake. I'm giving you something. Where's the trigger? And I'm giving you a Batman impersonation, too. Swear to me. Am I the asshole for refusing my sister-in-law's vegetarian restrictions? My husband, 30 male, and I, 30 female, volunteered to host this year's Thanksgiving. He misses his family, whom we haven't seen since 2019, and he loves the holiday, so we worked to make it happen. Usually, everyone meets at his parents' house, 6 hours from us, for Thanksgiving. But they're not comfortable hosting right now, so we invited them to our place. We offered to quarantine for 2 weeks before and get tested to make them happy and safe. They accepted, and on my mother-in-law's suggestion, we also invited my husband's siblings. Same quarantine rule for them. Last week, I forwarded them our planned menu, and that's when things got weird. Our sister-in-law is a vegetarian, maybe her husband too. I don't really know. So I sent the menu to make sure there's food that they can eat. It's basic Thanksgiving menu. So everything but the turkey gravy is vegetarian: mashed potatoes, corn, pudding, green beans, etc. And I added stuffed mushrooms and veggie cream soup. Brother-in-law said it's fine, but later emailed again asking where we buy vegetables. I said it depends. Trader Joe's, but sometimes I go to Stop and Shop. I don't know what that is, but I'll assume it's a grocery store. And then I got a weird email from sister-in-law about how grocery stores are evil and we should buy all our things from local farms, with 10 links to organic farms in our state. And uh-oh is where we're going with this. I ignored the email. Probably the right decision. When she emailed again later following up, I said, we'll look into it. Just politely waving her off, essentially. All week, she spammed the family chat with articles about unethical practices, blah, 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 rats, mold, whatever. I don't care, to be honest. So I muted the chat. She must have caught on because 2 days ago, mother-in-law gently told me sister-in-law can't eat vegetables from Stop and Shop and is very worried about Thanksgiving. I said I get Whole Foods, but sister-in-law emailed another list of farms. I ignored her again. So this morning, I woke up to a message in the family chat about how she and brother-in-law just wanted to make sure their dietary restrictions aren't too much of a problem, and if I'm too busy to respond to their concerns and they don't want to impose, they don't have to come. She said we'll have many, so I said we'll have many vegetarian dishes, but I can't control the provenance of the vegetables. Wow, good use of provenance. And they're welcome to bring a dish or two with farm vegetables if they want. That is fair. Now, sister-in-law is mad because I'm making her cook her own food and she doesn't want to come. Mother-in-law told my husband I should apologize, and my other brother-in-law and sister-in-law also think I should apologize to keep the peace. Nope, don't do that. My husband isn't mad at me, but I can kind of see if this is making him sad, and I don't want that. Kind of feel like an asshole for not apologizing, keeping the peace, but I'm also opposed to giving in because dictating where I buy my groceries seems so unreasonable. Am I the asshole? No, you are not. You are not an asshole. You are reasonable. I mean, I wouldn't have ignored the emails to begin with. I wouldn't have danced around the subject. I would have been more honest with them up front, but clearly you didn't do that, and it's coulda, shoulda, woulda. Hindsight's 2020. This is all bullshit. See, this is all stems from the same thing here, which is people are just, you got to be blunt, and people are petty and shitty and annoying, and I hate that, but that's the world we live in, and your husband should be the one handling this, not you. You were kind of stuck in the middle of all this bullshit, and you shouldn't have to deal with her wanting you to buy farm fresh shit. First of all, she's a lunatic. Just buy shit from the store or bring your own shit. Don't be unreasonable. Hey, don't be unreasonable. She has to meet you halfway here, because you're making vegetarian shit and you're not even vegetarian. I have a vegan sister. She's the disgrace of the family. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Carolyn. But does it cause problems sometimes in the family with what we're eating? Yes. But are they resolved immediately? Yes. Because she's a reasonable person. And she'll always bring her own stuff or cook her own stuff and meets us halfway. And like for Christmas last year, my mom, we had a little bit of a tiff because my sister brought vegan bullshit. And my mom also made vegan bullshit. We liked cheesy potatoes. It's a fucking amazing dish that my grandma and mom have been making for years with different types of potatoes, cubed, diced, with onions and cheese. And there's cornflakes on top. I know it sounds weird, but it's delicious. There's no sugar in cornflakes. There's just a nice little crunch to put on the top of the cheesy potatoes and pepper and salt. And so my mom didn't make those because she made vegan bullshit potatoes for my sister. And we're like, why did you make vegan bullshit potatoes? She brought her own. And we shouldn't be dictating everyone else. I have a big family. You shouldn't be dictating everyone else's thing based on her dietary restrictions. And my sister agreed. And it caused a bit of a tiff. But guess what? We made them the next day. And that's fine. And it wasn't a big deal. And I also went to Thanksgiving for my sister's last year. And we had a vegan thing. She had her dumb bullshit vegan loaf, which was gross. And I had my unethical cage-raised turkey or whatever the hell. Actually, we got it from Whole Foods, so it was probably totally legit. But we made our own things. And like she made her vegan things, and we had like vegan mac and cheese and stuff. And I made my stuff. It wasn't a big deal. So we can work these things out if you use your brain and are willing to meet someone halfway. Like you don't, your sister-in-law is being totally unreasonable. And your husband's kind of an asshole for not intervening and taking care of this himself. Why is this your job? It's not. You plan Thanksgiving far in advance, by the way. We're like a month out. It's a lot to work out, frankly. But yeah, I mean, people are unreasonable. Just call her on the phone and explain it. People will back off and become a lot less aggressive when you talk to them on the phone. Everything's all talk when it's over the internet and you're emailing. Once you get on the phone with someone, they back off real quick because people are pussies. That's why I'm a proponent of talking to someone. If I have an issue with someone on, like over email or something like that, I'll always call because it quashes things so much faster. All right. God, dude. And this is going to be the last one because dude, holy shit. All right. Got it. Last one. Am I the asshole for accidentally giving my mother-in-law shroom chocolate? Oops. Okay, I'll try to keep this short. Me and my wife stayed with a friend for a couple days, and she had a decent supply of shroom chocolate. I don't do psychedelics, but I took her up on the offer with taking a bar, and we left. On a return trip from our visit, we stayed with my in-laws. We were using the downstairs bathroom, and I didn't think they used it at all. And it's equidistant from the common spaces. I put my toiletry bag on the counter with my wife's. 2 days ago, my mother-in-law used the bathroom, and while in there, thought she saw a delicious Lindt chocolate bar poking out of my toiletry bag. Unable to resist, she ate about a fourth to a third of the bar, correctly thinking I wouldn't mind if it was my chocolate, as I'm always willing to share. A third of the bar is certainly enough to trip. Not trip balls, but pretty hard. Well, she has a panic attack on the come up and had no idea what was happening, and she thought she was having a heart attack. She called an ambulance. Whoa. Well, the rest of us are out of the house and checks herself into the hospital. Oh, no. Eventually, after much panic and drama and fear, we figure out what's happened. Mother-in-law is rattled, having never done drugs, but physically is fine. Now my wife, my mother-in-law, and father-in-law are pissed at me. Even my wife's sister calling to tell me I was an asshole for giving her mother shrooms. Obviously, I felt awful for what happened and profusely apologized, but I also feel like maybe I'm not the asshole. Mother-in-law had to go digging into my personal bag and ate the chocolate without asking. Well, it may have been showing a tiny bit. I get the feeling she was snooping in my personals out of curiosity. I feel bad it happened, but she's all right now, and I think it's a good lesson not to take something that isn't yours without asking. I'll probably let this blow over and not fight them on it, but for my own peace of mind, am I the asshole? No, You are not. You are not an asshole, my friend. Is this hilarious? Yes. Is it a big deal? No. Mother-in-laws are snoopy. And I don't even have a mother-in-law, but I just know. Like, you just know. They're snoopy little chicks. They'll rummage through stuff. They'll go in your medicine cabinet and see what kind of medications you are. That's how older women are, generally speaking. So, you're right. I think it is probably a good lesson for her. It's probably a good lesson. You shouldn't feel bad. And the worst thing about it is it's embarrassing for you because then you're kind of outed as like a drug doer or whatever, something like that. But I don't think you're an asshole by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, she snooped through your stuff and like, what are you supposed to do about that? You know, she took your chocolate. I mean, you didn't drug her. You didn't sneak it to her as a funny prank. You can't just eat stuff that's in like someone's bag. It sounds like a scene from like Meet the Fockers or something. Like it sounds kind of made up and I have a tough time believing it because it's like, I don't know. Actually, it is kind of plausible. But I mean, yeah, you're right. She probably did learn a lesson. Next time, put a chocolate laxative in there or something. I mean, it's not your fault, dude, for having it. I mean, is that against the law? And should you go to jail for 1,000,000 years? Yes, I'm calling the cops and I'm reporting your Reddit name. I'm reporting your username. But you're not an asshole. And that's all that really matters here. Nobody's an asshole today. We're ending on positive notes for the end of the season, guys. It's been fun. We've had some ups and downs. But Batman's here to save the day. And I'm going to figure some stuff out on my end. Change some of the recording software. And we'll be back in a week or two. Not a week, but 2, maybe 3. And I love you guys. And this is fun. And if you haven't done it yet, go catch up on older episodes. And subscribe to Victory Lap on YouTube. Follow my Instagram. Subscribe to it on Apple. Leave a review. Listen on Spotify if that's what you do. This is fun, and we're gonna keep growing it. We're at about, I think we might be at 500 now on Instagram. So we're getting bigger and bigger as the days go on, and we're gonna keep doing this. And I'm excited to see where this goes with you, my friends, my people, my good people. And I will see you guys soon. But in the meantime, stay sweet, stay safe. The election's going to go fucking nuts next week. And I'm glad I'm not going to, be here doing an episode for that. Although maybe I'll have to. Maybe I'll do like an emergency lot going live on Instagram or something. I don't know. That's why you should follow it. You'll get extra content. I'll be posting a lot more content. The clips are going to keep coming. I'm not going to stop posting. I'm not going to go dark. But next week there will not be an episode. And thank you for the support. I love you all. Please don't leave me. Please don't stop listening. We'll stay together forever. But that's it. Season 2, what the heck, is done. We started season 2 in May, I believe. And we're going to keep going. We're getting through quarantine together. We're all in this together. And we'll get through this year. We started during COVID. Hopefully, we'll get out of it soon. Go vote. Go vote. Literally go vote. If you don't vote, I'm going to be so mad at you. And, yeah, we'll see you in season 3, guys. I love you. All right, bye. Bye. See you later. Bye. I love you guys. Bye.